hard work, and meticulous management have resulted in a high degree of farming and ranching success for Doug and Arlene Thiessen of Mitchell County, north central Kansas. Back in 1979, they picked up what Doug's great-great-grandfather Ernest started in the late 1890s, and what his parents, Vernon and Ann, continued when they entered farming east of Beloit in 1957. They said it was clear early on in life that Doug was destined to return to the farm and one day raise a family. That was his life's goal. So, after earning his degree in agronomy from Kansas State University, he began his quest. It was at K-State that he met Arlene, who was from Labette County in southeast Kansas. She graduated with a degree in elementary education. They were married in the summer of '79 and right away embarked on their farm life. At that time, in partnership with Doug's parents, the farm consisted of 2,200 acres owned and 840 acres rented. And back then, the Thiessens finished approximately 1,500 head of cattle yearly. Over the 45 years since, the family farm has grown, now running 4,300 acres of owned and rented ground, 3/4 of it in crop production, nearly 400 acres of it under center pivot irrigation, and the rest being grassland. Doug was one of the first in his area to venture into no-till production, having purchased his first no-till planter 30 years ago. It was a commitment that he says has paid off well.
After I tried it the first year it was on some rented ground that the year was wet and I couldn't get in there to work it, and finally got the airplane to fly on some chemical and kill it, and planted milo. My landlord says, "Do you know what you're doing?" And I said, "Well, I'll tell you this, we'll find out this fall, and I'm either going to be a hero or a goat." And we had, this was in mid-90s, and I had 120 bushel milo. He told me, he says, "That's 3 years worth of milo, what the previous tenant was raising." So I said, "Okay, I guess I'm a hero, huh?"
And the Thiessens remain active in cattle production. Partnering with sons Joe full-time and Greg part-time, they now manage 500 cows and 125 bred heifers each year. Their breeding program, a mix of artificial insemination and natural service. The Thiessens also finish around 400 head for direct sale to the packer, and their cattle grade out very highly, consistently, achieving 100% choice or prime.
That was our goal. We're still trying to increase the primes, and it's you little increments at a time. We're very, very careful about picking the bulls that we have.
Arlene has been right in the thick of all the operations activities from day one, while also putting her college education to work during a 40-year career as a teacher at the local Catholic school. She does all the farm bookkeeping. Doug oversees the cattle side, and Joe manages a good lot of the crop side as a certified seed dealer. Back in 2008, the Thiessens broadened the scope of their operation. They had the opportunity to purchase a major share of the local locker plant in Beloit.
I decided that it was an investment for me that I probably didn't want to turn down, because otherwise I was going to have to drive 20 to 30 miles to the next nearest one, and instead of taking me 20 minutes in the morning to run them in and drop them off, I was going to be losing an hour and a half by the time I got somewhere back. My clientele was growing, and so I decided that was an opportunity that I couldn't afford to pass up, so I figured out a way to make it work.
Heartland Choice Meats processes livestock for customers from a 12-county area surrounding Beloit, and the Thiessens market their own high-quality beef through that plant. Arlene is frequently involved in the day-to-day operation.
After COVID, I retired from teaching school, and Doug had made the comment, "Oh, we're really getting behind at the packing house." And I thought, oh, maybe that's something I can do. I don't know. So I just kind of went in on when they were working on hogs. I said, well, I can at least try to do something. I don't know. So I got in, and first thing I did was, okay, here's your knife, and this is what we do. And I went, okay. I guess I just thought I'd maybe just kind of stand back and watch for a while, but it's like, no, you're doing this. And after a period of time, I thought, that extra person does make a huge difference. I really kind of enjoy doing it. I guess I'm getting pretty good at it because they keep saying, when are you coming back, Arlene?
Community service has taken several forms for the Thiessens. Doug is a member of the local Irrigation District Board of Directors, past board member of the Mitchell County Young Farmers Association, active in Kansas Farm Bureau at the local and state levels, and a first responder on the board of the Mitchell County Rescue Squad and a longtime rural volunteer firefighter. And both Doug and Arlene have been ardent supporters of and volunteers for the 4-H program in Mitchell County. They are past superintendents of the county fair, and Doug initiated the live carcass show as part of the 4-H beef exposition there. They've been project leaders many times over, and all 6 of their children participated in the 4-H program right through high school.
All the kids, except for the oldest one, showed animals and had pigs one year. And one year, one of the girls caught a sheep in the Catch a Lamb contest. And so we had sheep on the farm and hogs, and his dad would say, we're beef farmers. What are you doing with pigs and sheep? And we're going, it's 4-H.
Now, Doug and Arlene's grandchildren are members, furthering the family's 4-H legacy. The Thiessens cite a handful of simple but impactful principles as the basis of their success, agriculturally and in life in general: faith, honesty, trustworthiness, loyalty, responsibility, integrity, leadership, priorities, and networking. It's a formula that's served them very well. Doug and Arlene Thiessen, Kansas Master Farm Family, Class of 2024.